holidays, some people may experience increased feelings of depression or sadness. This Mental Health Monday, let's talk about the ways of managing holiday stress. I have our very well-known guest, Dr. Christine Caulfield, Chief Executive Officer at LSF Health Systems. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Always
I really
a pleasure.
appreciate it. Yeah, trust me, the pleasure is all ours. So, Doctor, what are the underlying causes of holiday stress?
You know, I think there's so much pressure during the holidays, and people are off balance, off kilter. They lose their sense of control.
Right.
There's all these expectations. They feel like they need to be merry and bright. And for a lot of people, it's a very sad time, actually.
Yeah.
So
we have loved ones that aren't with us and things like that.
Exactly,
Right.
exactly. Maybe some financial difficulties because we want to have the perfect Christmas,
Right.
but we're on a budget. And so there's all these expectations on us, unrealistic, most of them.
Yeah.
And so we feel overwhelmed.
Okay, so how do disruptions in routines and increased expectation impact individuals, and how can they manage, that certain stress?
Yes, it's really a challenge to keep our balance during the holidays. Again, that feeling of overwhelmedness, lack of control. So we need to make sure we factor in routine whenever we can. Time for ourselves to do some self-care. Lower our expectations. Let people know if you're hurting. For example, you mentioned a loss. Most of the time people can be grieving,
Right.
and it's just not a festive occasion for them. So many tips to be able to manage that stress, including reaching out for help if you're feeling that you just can't snap out of that depression.
Right, absolutely. And I think more people really do need to understand that it is okay to reach out for help, right?
Absolutely. It's a sign of health
Absolutely.
to reach out when you're struggling.
So how can people navigate difficult interactions with relatives during the holidays? This is the question off camera that we were like, everyone's going to need to know this. So I'll ask you one more time. So how can people navigate difficult interactions with relatives during holiday events?
Yes, I think it's very important that you set boundaries. If you need to let the host or hostess of the dinner you're going to, for example, know what you will and won't tolerate around that table, please do that. Have a buddy or another family member or another guest at the table to pair up with you. So if things are going in a way that you're not happy with, you have that friend to have your back, so to speak. And
You
it's
got a
okay.
buffer buddy.
You've got a buffer buddy.
Yeah.
And it's okay to say, you know what, I don't think that's an appropriate conversation. I'm uncomfortable. Let's switch topics.
Yeah, I like that, right? Yeah, we don't have to talk about all that kind of stuff. We're here for the holidays, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, we're here to talk about
Set
happy, fun
those
stuff. We don't have to
boundaries.
try to solve the world's problems over Christmas.
Right, precisely.
Okay, so while many of us are spending time with loved ones, our first responders are responding to an increased number of calls. So how can they deal with their particular stress during the holidays? And we were talking about this before. My dad was in the, he was Atlanta PD. My Uncle Bob, retired JSO. And so, we've had to deal with this our whole lives.
Exactly. And a lot of our first responders are working during the holidays.
Absolutely.
And they're coming into pretty traumatic events. Fires, house fires.
Those things don't take breaks during the holidays.
Exactly, and they're away from their family and loved ones. So additional stress for our first responders, frankly, during the holidays, and they are our hometown heroes. So fortunate to have our first responder program at LSF Health Systems for first responders and their family members. And all you have to do is call 211, identify yourself as a first responder or first responder family member. You'll quickly be paired with a first responder peer specialist, somebody that's walked a mile in those shoes, and off you go to get the help and support that you need.
I really appreciate your time this morning. Thank you so very much. It's always a gem to have you.
Oh, likewise. Thank you so much.
It's our pleasure. All right, so Jordan was hanging out with the folks from UF Health. Let's see what she's up to.